And I want to thank, as usual, Sinn Féin for this motion. And it really, I can't understand how the government has brought in an amending motion, because what the motion seeks here are very basic things based on the strategy, the National Care Strategy. And for the life of me, I cannot understand how you can stand over such an amendment. And let me just say, when I speak here today, I do so in the context of Galway, where a scanner, a brand new scanner, sits unused, where in the accident and emergency today, there were 60 patients on trolleys, 60 patients on trolleys, some of them in the ED, making it impossible for the staff there to do their work. And then in wards, hidden away in the wards, we had 11. Last week, Minister, we had 72 in UHG, and the same week on another day we had 71. And just over a year ago, when HEQA visited Galway, they were aghast at the overcrowding when there was just 20-something on trolleys. I'm not sure what words they'll have now to describe 71 and 61 on trolleys in Galway. And of course, if we talk about treatment for cancer and diagnosis, that's impacted, isn't it, by the state of the hospital and what's happening in the hospital and its overcrowding. And at any given time, when HEQA was there last year, there was something like 24 patients that couldn't be discharged because they had nowhere to go to. In the meantime, Clifton Hospital is closed, Minister. Clifton Hospital with respite beds and step-down facilities closed. Beds closed in the middle of the Gaeltacht, Creelor and the Gaeltacht, Oris Victara, and also in Merlin Park. Now, for God's sake, how could we have respite beds and step-down beds and a hospital closing in a west of Ireland where the hospital is under such problems? When an options appraisal was carried out, what did they tell us? 64% and 94% of the infrastructure in the hospital in Galway and Merlin Park, respectively, categorised as requiring a total rebuild or major upgrade in order to function properly. And so, rather than looking at a brand new hospital, we go piggledy-piggledy on a congested site, putting up more and more structures instead of long-term planning on Merlin Park site. Be that as it may, we're here now with the cancer care strategy, with all of those extraneous variables affecting the strategy. And we're on our third strategy. And in that, previously, the two other strategies led to some improvement. Now we are in the unprecedented situation where the Irish Cancer Society are telling us that that strategy has not been implemented, and 22 doctors and professors have put their name to a letter. It's unprecedented, really. The only other time I saw that was in Galway in relation to doctors putting their name to a service in Galway. I actually just forget the name of it, in relation to breaking bones and that. Unprecedented again. And so here we are, the third national strategy, and in 7 years it's only been funded properly twice. The implementation and the monitoring of the implementation is at best vague. The professor that did the foreword, Professor John F. Kennedy, he stated, the recommendations of the strategy were to be reviewed. The recommendations were to be reviewed towards the end of 21. I don't see where that has happened. And what was that for? To ensure the aims and directions are appropriate to deliver optimum outcomes for patients. Then the letter of the 21 or 22 doctors and consultants, I haven't time to outline it. Screening has not been implemented, targeting waiting times are not being met, cancer surgeries are frequently, and so on, bullet point after bullet point. Back to Galway, a 30% shortage in radiation therapists. They're all exiting the service, and a machine that's lying vacant. And then we have the Parliamentary Budget Office very kindly outlining what this strategy, and they tell us, incredible, only limited disaggregate data is available. The lack of data makes it difficult to examine the overall national level of spending on cancer care, links investment in cancer care services with performances or outcomes. So they can't analyse what the performances are, the outcomes in relation to the funding going in. I'm going to stop in a couple of seconds, but I stand here in absolute exasperation in a wealthy, wealthy republic that this is the state of our health service. Year after year, notwithstanding that there was a cross-party agreement on a committee that showed the way forward, and we're talking about sovereign funds and investing in sovereign funds when we should be investing in our health services.